Okay, I wanted to do just a very brief highlight video showing how to do the time-lapse mode on the GoPro. This model is the GoPro Hero 6, and just wanted to show you how to access these features, how to get the camera set up in the mode that you want, and what will best suit your needs as far as time and everything like that. So very briefly, you saw at the very beginning of this a sunrise and a sunset. Just shows you some of the capabilities that you've got here. I currently have the voice activation modes off. They kind of mess up when you're trying to do a video. They'll understand what you're trying to say, and the camera will turn off for no reason when you don't want it to. But essentially, go ahead and turn your camera on, hit the mode button here. You can also hit the record button that automatically sends it into record mode. There is an option as well to where you can use your voice to wake this up. If it's been within approximately 8 hours or so, it will wake up. But wanted to show you the easiest way to get to this. Hit your mode button, turn the camera on, and it's going to automatically come on to the setting that you have selected. In my case, I always want it to be on video, and it shows you my resolution, my frames per second, and my field of view of what I would like to do. But in order to access the time-lapse mode, I come over here to this icon here, and you'll tap it, and you've got a couple of options here. Up top you've got video, photo, and then this little feature here is your time-lapse. If you select that button, it's going to ask you, do you want time-lapse video, time-lapse photo, and night-lapse photo. I have not messed with night-lapse photo a lot yet. There'll be other videos later on where I try to figure that out. But time-lapse photo obviously takes a photo every few seconds, however often you set that up. It's going to save every photo individually to your camera. I don't like this feature just because I like to actually edit the video. It makes it a little smoother if you actually use time-lapse video like you saw at the beginning. So I select time-lapse video. You can obviously come across, you select your resolution depending on what you want. It gives you your options. I like to record these in 1080. This next button is how often do you want a photo taken. So you've got options from a half of a second, 1 second, 2, 5, 10, 30, and then 1 minute. Obviously, if you're in an area where you're wanting your pictures taken a lot more frequently, let's say like moving traffic or fast moving people, you would want to come down here approximately to a half a second or so. For other items where you want it to be a little more time in between, you would start stepping up. My photos that I took, I used 30. So to show you that time-lapse sunset and sunrise, that was on 30-second intervals. You can also use 1 minute if you want to stretch it out even farther. Obviously, the longer you go with these, the more battery life, so be prepared to have your camera hooked up to an external battery source so that you don't drain it. Both that sunrise and sunset used somewhere in the ballpark of between 60 and 70% of my battery for both of those videos, and that was taken with a 30-second interval there. So once you select your interval, you can select your frame of view as well, whether you want it wide. Sometimes you'll get an option for linear. The camera sets it up for however based on the selections that you've made down here. So once you've got all of this set up, you can see that you're on camera mode with the little time beside it, which means you're on time-lapse mode. So now you're ready to begin a time-lapse video, and you'll just hit the top function here to start recording just like you would any other video or photo like that. So you would get this set up on your tripod however you want it, obviously keeping in mind that the more still the camera is, the better off in the long run. If you've got this mounted somewhere where there's a little bit of movement, it does this number here. It's going to affect your shots and everything. So you'll want to get it all set up, get it nice and stable, usually some kind of external mount to where you can make sure that it doesn't move around. You snap the button and it's now in time-lapse mode. It will blink on depending on how you have your screen set up. This the backlit screen will stay just like it is for a few minutes or so. I think I've got mine set on a few minutes, so it'll actually stay on just like this however long you've got it set. If you've only got it at 1 minute, the sleep timer, it'll go off after 1 minute. If you've got it set up for a little longer, obviously it drains a little more battery, but you can kind of see what you've got going on, make sure that you've got the correct field of view and everything. Once you actually hit that button to begin the recording, you don't want to move the camera. You want to make sure that it stays nice and still until you are completely done. Obviously right now I'm just doing it experimental. You've seen what I can do with it as far as the sunrise and the sunset. I left it up there for somewhere in the ballpark of 1 hour, somewhere in there. And that's the video that you saw earlier, both 1 hour for the sunset and 1 hour for the sunrise. So once you're done, once you've got all the photo that you want, you come in here and you tap the button again to stop the recording. And then you can go in, whether you like to come over here and view your photos, or whether you want to actually view them on your phone or your tablet or whatever you've got with you. However you normally view your photos, that's where you'll go, and that'll show you your video. Once again, this was just a very quick rundown of how to access the time-lapse mode on the GoPro Hero 6. I do not have the GoPro Hero 5, but I have to imagine it's probably pretty close to the same setup. But I just wanted to briefly go over how to take care of this, how to do your sunrise, sunset type of photos, or maybe it's midday and you want to take a time-lapse video of the clouds moving across the sky, big puffy clouds. It makes for a really good video as well. Street shots showing cars driving by, busy walking intersections, things like this. They're great options to have your time-lapse photos taken. If you have any questions on the process, anything like that, please post them in comments below. Once again, this is just a very brief overview of how to do the time-lapse option on your GoPro Hero 6. If you need anything in more depth, there's plenty other excellent videos out there. I'll be posting some other videos as we go along as well, but this was just a very general overview of how to access this. I know when I first started I couldn't figure out a couple of the settings and what have you, or what like the numbers meant, the time, the second interval, and all that kind of stuff. So just wanted to throw that out there. I hope this video has helped you out. Take care. I hope you have a great day.